several years back that said for every dollar spent, $2 was returned in value. And that is actually more, it's more than that now when you look at the investment. The investment for us is about investing in young people. We're looking for career ladders. We're not looking for just that one job. When we look at jobs for our young people, there's a lot about solar installation. Okay, that's great. When everybody gets it installed, who's going to maintain it? Maybe it's going to be micro members who get the training for that longer term job. So we are not fully funded. We have to go out and make, contracts with local cities and counties to help fund our program. We were on the chopping block. Conservation Corps, the governor wanted to eliminate us last January, and there was just this groundswell of support for the program that really was comforting to us, but it also was a good wake-up call for us that we need to be a little bit better on our game in building partnerships and collaborating and really, getting a little bit more into what's in the current theme. We can't just be complacent. We have to make sure that we're meeting a need of the communities for us. I think that with this green pathways that we've been talking about is a good thing for us and for our young people. So, Dwayne here, he's my guy here on the ground in LA, and I mean, he's out there all the time looking for good internships for our program. So we believe we're probably better off now than when the governor put us up for elimination, because we sort of got the wake-up call, and we want to be a little smarter in our partnerships with the educational and the unions. All the way around, we have to work a little stronger.
Christy, where do you get the young people?
Well, they kind of find us a lot, in this economy, and we have a whole recruitment team throughout the state. We're recruiting, and we have 5 residential programs, which is a little different in local course, do not have really a residential component, but here in LA we have a non-residential. In Camarillo we have a residential component. We're building a new facility. It's going to be LEED certified at silver. So we're really excited about having a new campus. But we recruit throughout the state. If somebody wants to come to us residentially, we might send a young person from LA up to Northern California. I have several young people from this community who are doing internships in Australia. We had a young man who went on a Russian exchange. And so, we have great opportunities. But again, we have a very long waiting list because it's kind of the sign of the times.
This question is for Mona. We have a apprenticeship preparation program that we're working to move people to the construction trade. So I'm just wondering, with all of the projects that you have with your students, is there some sort of a connection between the education or training and then employment? And if so, by what mechanism does that take place? And for example, do you have local hiring ordinances or processes so that at each of the campuses, local jobs are being created?
Okay, thank you. And I'm sorry, where were you from? Oh, okay. Well, let me just say, we have our primary site for sort of the kind of, I think, vocations you're referring to is trade tech, although all our colleges have versions of what we would call, in the old days, vocational or workforce. And it all is linked to the apprenticeships, the unions, career ladders. I mean, all of that is going on. As far as the hiring part, in our bond program we do, and this is available on the website, the laccdbuildsgreen.org. We have an actual mandate, our board imposed with consultation amongst the colleges for small, local, and emerging businesses And we have a contract, for example, I don't know if you folks are familiar with PV Jobs. PV Jobs is a phenomenal nonprofit. They take folks usually who had some pretty serious problems. Either they've been in prison or they are victims of domestic violence, or, I mean, they're people who've had a real tough time for whatever combination of reasons, substance abuse, and PV Jobs helps them become skilled in the, mostly in construction related work. They go through apprenticeship, they get them into the unions, and that's, you know, just one example. And we have an agreement with PV Jobs, and we have a certain percent of the workforce on our building program that have to come through that. But I think the old terminology might be at-risk people. Whatever it is, the idea is to rebuild lives as well as buildings. And then to the local small emerging business, we have a pretty complex outreach process so that small businesses that are in this region can access being part of our bond program. Again, the website I think has some of that detail for you, but it's very important to us. We think that if we're spending billions of public dollars, we should be mostly using people and businesses right here in Southern California. And again, you know, we're very proud of the numbers of contracts we have with small, local, and emerging businesses, women-owned, veteran-owned. I mean, there's a whole list of, you know, I don't know the criteria by heart, but that we try to keep the money flowing right back here into employment and into small business. I hope I've answered the question.
Yeah, the agreement with the community colleges and under PV Jobs and the bond money, the project labor agreements have a 30% criteria for local hiring, and we've actually exceeded that criteria on a regular basis. And that's the beauty of a project labor agreement, because it builds compliance, it extends the arm of compliance to make sure that the people that are engaging in contracting with that particular agency, whether it's a private agency or a public agency, are actually paying the people what they're claiming to pay them. In other words, a worker that shows up on the job is actually getting payments for his medical benefits, is actually getting pension contributions made, is actually making the amount of money that the employer is claiming to pay him on the check. And we cover that under what we call project labor agreements. Some people are calling them community engagement agreements. They're being called different things. But the reality is it's a partnership with the purchaser, between the purchaser, the local unions, and the public agencies to ensure that there's local hiring, that there's apprenticeship opportunities, that the tax money that is generated, the expenditure of what somebody called them, what was the job?
Oh, the inducement thing?
The inducement job.
Induced job.
The induced jobs and dollars actually stay in the community, so that we don't have contractors that are shipping people in from Arizona or whatever and piling them into a hotel room and paying them $8 an hour, and then the money's going back home to their home and not staying here in the local community. And those are the power. That's the power of those kinds of things.
I just want to add one other thing. In terms of small business, you know, dealing with a very large bureaucracy can be intimidating, and we do have a lot of requirements to bid on contracts, but we also provide substantial support. We actually have whole training programs so that small business people, a painter, a contractor, plumbing company, can learn how to do the paperwork and can find the support to deal with the kinds of fiscal guarantees we require. So we really provide support for small business to participate, even if they've never worked in the public sector before and aren't used to the volumes of paperwork. So we help.